I feel like this sport gives a lot of insight to their future.
I don't think I would have changed it because it did make me who I am and made me stronger. I definitely got some good life lessons out of it, and it shaped my life and the person who I am today. But it also did give me some negative impacts and, again, shaped who I am today in that sense too.
Pre-Nassar, I feel like coaching styles could be quite intense for most gyms. I feel like a lot of it was you would do as your coach tells you, and you didn't really ask any questions. A lot of it was definitely not the safest ways to be coaching young athletes, but then again, that wasn't every gym. It was gyms few and far between.
I definitely had a lot of anxiety leading up to practice every single day. During the events, it was kind of going through the motions. I don't remember, I feel like I blocked a lot out of certain events. But after each event, I felt like just a relief off my shoulders of counting down the time. I remember getting yelled at a couple times for looking at the clock because they knew I was counting down the time till I can go home.
Some athletes took really well to the coaching environment that was more intense. They got farther in the sport, they learned more, and they perceived that coaching style very well. Whereas other athletes did not take to that coaching style. They experienced a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of mental hardships in and out of the sport.
Right after I stopped gymnastics, I felt worse about myself because I felt like I was lazy and I wasn't doing anything with my time. And I could have been doing more, I could have been exercising more. But then after a few years, I realized that I was doing a lot for the age that I was at. I was in 4th grade going to practice 4 times a week for 3 hours each practice in 4th grade. So after coming to that realization and seeing how that affected my mental health and that changed my mindset, I was able to kind of shape it to where I'm more lighthearted on myself and not as strict.
As a coach now and thinking on it, I wish my coaches would have thought about themselves being in that position of having to go long hours in a gym and working very long practices. And I wish they would just think about what they would have done or said to them coaching-wise to make it easier on the kids.
In a Michigan courtroom today, former Dr. Larry Nassar pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting 7 girls.
USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee failed to do their jobs.
The Justice Department found FBI agents learned of the allegations in 2015, but waited more than a year before opening an investigation.
USIG definitely turned a blind eye. They wouldn't listen to any of the complaints. They got numerous complaints, and they still just kind of brushed them to the side and didn't even take a look into the matters.
You have to protect your athletes. You have to let them know that we care. You have to not let them know, but let them feel it. Let them understand it. Let them breathe it.
Larry Nassar did not arise in isolation. Rather, we saw the worst sexual assault scandal in history unfold because a predator was left in power for decades. Despite warning signs, despite red flags, despite direct reports of assault.
to sentence you to 40 years. 40 years, just so you know and you can count it off your calendar, is 480 months. I've just signed your death warrant.
After a 5-year legal battle, victims of former USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar reached a $380 million settlement with USA Gymnastics, the U.S. Olympic Committee, and their insurers, an attorney for some of his victims said on Monday.
If they would have looked into it on that first one, so much more trauma and pain and issues and negative impacts could have been avoided.
I feel like they've gone a lot harder on safe sport. Many things are no longer just a slap on the wrist. I feel like they're investigating what's being brought to them a lot more. And I feel like they're just trying a lot harder to stay on top of things.
The Olympic Committee also agreed to designate some of their board seats to survivors and to implement new policies aimed at protecting athletes from future abuse.
Every year we have to go on a website and go through certain lessons and kind of refresh ourselves on what's okay to do in the gym, what's not okay. If we are to talk to athletes outside of the gym, it must go through their parents, not that specific athlete. And it's just a bunch of lessons that we have to take every year to make sure we are on top of things. And basically at the end, we just answer little quizzes and test on it. I just hope that they accomplish having a safe environment for every gymnast anywhere to be able to enjoy and do the sport they love without having to worry about anything. I feel like there's always more to be done. I feel like it's a growing effort to always make it a safer environment in sport, no matter what the sport may be. I feel like maybe they could incorporate talking to the kids more and have like a safe sport for the kids as well that, they have to take, as well as our coaches. Our coaches already do it, and I just feel like it would benefit so the kids understand what's okay and what is not.
I think it's becoming more positive because there's like newer coaches and everything who have done gymnastics in the past and experienced it when it wasn't the best, so they've been introducing better coaching styles and focusing more on their athletes' mental and physical health, and they're just more understanding with everything.
I think every day there is more coaches coming in who have gone through hardships in previous gyms, and they're working and making it their goal to make sure that these kids have the best experience possible. And they're working very hard to make sure that these kids are performing safe gymnastics and that they feel safe as well being in gymnastics. I talk to my girls daily, and I make it known that they can always come to me whenever they're struggling or whenever the day at the gym is just not going the way they want it to, that they could always come to me and we could talk about it, and together we can work on it and fix things to where they don't have to struggle on their own and feel like there's nothing that they can do.
Right now at the gym I'm at, I definitely have made like my best friends for life. We're all really, really close with each other, and we fight like sisters, we act like sisters. We all love each other, and even I'm still friends with some people from my other 2 gyms.
I did it my entire life. I found a love for it. I loved the long practice days, I loved competitions, I loved getting to be around my friends and having coaches that cared to see where I would go in the sport. And coaching it now, I look forward every day to seeing my kids and seeing how far they'll go and what they can accomplish in the years to come.
It's kind of just been like everything. I started in like all the Mommy and Me classes when I was really little, and then joined competitive at 5, and I'm still in competitive. And it's just always been like a constant in my life. Pretty positive, and like it's a lot of fun.
For me, it means, waking up every day and making sure I put a smile on my face for these kids and making it known that they could come here and have a good time, and just no matter what they're going through at home or anywhere else, that this is a place where they could come and have a good time, and they could be around friends, and they could have coaches that care about them and want to just see them go far and see what they can do to, follow their dreams and accomplish whatever they put their minds to. I feel like this sport gives a lot of insight to their future, and I feel like it's something that will live with them forever.